Hello, y'all. Welcome to my channel. So I'm back with another video. Um, okay, so we gon' this not gonna be long. All right, so I wanted to talk about vulnerability. Um, so the definition of vulnerability is the quality or state of being exposed to the possibility um of being attacked or harmed either physically or emotionally. So nobody wants to be vulnerable, but it's like it's more so like it's a time and a place for everything. So it's like you have to be vulnerable in order to 111 on the clock heal certain wounds and kind of like get past certain things in life. You have to be vulnerable. Um but nobody wants to be vulnerable. It's like we live in a society where it's like a weakness, right? So wound in Latin means, I mean, wound in Latin is vulnus, and it means to wound. So we have like all these artists talking about vulnerable, being vulnerable. Kodak, Selena Gomez, Tinashe, Travis Scott. I hope I said her name right. And then you got fake news where they use that to their advantage, where it's like disinformation and data driven propaganda makes citizens vulnerable. It happens every day. Like you look at the news and they might have a bunch of things that they talk about on the news, but 90% of it might not even be 100% accurate. But if they play off your vulnerability and put fear, instill fear in you, then it's like, okay, we have an agenda. We can convince them to do whatever we want. We wounding them. We conditioning them, giving them this every day. Eventually, it's like mind control. We taking over the mind. So, wound is exposure, threat, openness, liability, weakness. And right now we're like in the age of the Gemini, which is time of balance. So you have to know, you have to decipher when and when not to be vulnerable, because that can hinder you and that can help you get ahead. So how to ascend? You open your heart and consciousness. I'm sorry, you open your heart and consciously return to the vibration of love, support, and serve others. Is how you ascend. In order to ascend, you have to be vulnerable. You can't do these things without being vulnerable. Open your heart. Nobody wanna open their heart up. Everybody wanna icebox well mine. And I mean that's cool and all, but that's only gonna get you but so far, you know. And to each his own. So when you love, support, and serve others, that is how you ascend. Being vulnerable can help us work through our emotions easier. Vulnerability. Y'all like my clipboard? Oh, okay. Um, vulnerability fosters good emotional and mental health. We become more resilient and brave when we embrace who we are. It's either you get it or you don't. Like, go to my notes. And then this song popped up in my head while I was doing my, you know what I'm saying, my being professional tease. Nicki Minaj popped up. I wish that I could have this moment for life. I could have this moment. Yeah. So that might resonate with somebody. It might resonate with me. And then I was like, yeah, because you're the prototype. You are the prototype. So then I saw a lizard, right? I'm like, I look up the spiritual meaning. It means resurrection and rebirth, right? So then Michael Jackson started playing in my mind. It was so and make a change. Na 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 na. Okay, back to business. So then I said lizard. They, they get transparent when they don't want to be seen. So I said, why is a lizard in my house? Now I could have, just ignored that, but knowing me, knowing your girl, I'm always trying to figure something out. So then Lazarus popped up in my mind. I'm like, Lazarus? That name sound familiar, but who that is? So I looked it up. Okay, it's the diseased beggar in the parable of the rich man and the beggar. Luke. Wait a minute. The diseased beggar. Okay, he's a diseased beggar in the parable of the rich man and the beggar. Luke 16, um, verse 19 through 31. A brother of Mary and Martha, whom Jesus raised from the dead, the last of the miracles or signs of Jesus' divinity, which John relates. It represents his ability to conquer death itself through bringing the dead back to life. What? A delayed return of spontaneous circulation after CPR has ceased. Patients who basically are pronounced dead and then they come back to life is called the Lazarus um the Lazarus experience. Yeah, pronounced dead after cardiac arrest, experience impromptu return of cardiac activity. And Lazarus is Hebrew. It means God has helped. So it's like, wow, his name is so powerful. It's still standing to today as meaning that if somebody is pronounced dead and then they come back to life, it's called the Lazarus experience. So I was like, okay, well, how did he die? Am I the only one who? Okay, he suffered from leprosy, um, also known as Hansen's disease. Mucus affects the skin, eyes, nose, and nerves. Bumps on the skin, spreads by airborne droplets like coughing and sneezing. So I'm like, what? Go back to my nose. What is you trying to tell me, Lord? Because how all of a sudden, go me looking at a lizard, I done got on Lazarus. So I said Hans Hansen means gift from God, right? So then I'm like, wait a minute. Let me find out the government trying to do what God did and bring stuff back to life. Ten 22 on the clock. Military time, bitch, that's 222. Like, and that's kind of in a sense what they're doing, because if you playing with robots transferring consciousness, and that means you killing the host of the body, which means they're dying, but then you bring their brain back to life and then transfer and put it in. Whoa. I don't know how. Then I was like, okay, it's the same as you taking the DNA of a mummy and then trying to make another replica of it. 1111. I would make a clone. Like, if you're a clone of animal, if you're a clone of human, you're a clone of mummy. You're a clone something that was already dead. Baby, Earth is getting too ghetto for me. I don't know about all this. Then CERN popped up. I'm like, oh, they opening the portal, letting shit in and out. That's why the world they done found in Japan. And then right when I'm thinking about this information about CERN, if you don't know what CERN is, go look it up. Mamita. Okay, go look it up. Ben 10. My kids was watching Ben 10. Season 4, episode 24. Go watch that. Go on YouTube. I'm gonna put the link in the description box, but go on YouTube and watch Ben 10 season 4 episode 24. The title of the episode is called Speed of Sound, right? So then as soon as I walked in, I'm like, what y'all doing? And I'm looking at the show, what's on the screen of the company who was doing the same thing that CERN be doing. It's called Helen Troy Industries. Helen Troy, whoa, what's T? Troy, the movie, you know what I'm saying? Where they in the movie, it was the last kingdom that was preventing his control over the Argent Sea. The Argent Sea is the Mediterranean Sea. The Mediterranean Sea is right, well, it's like all this history of events done took place throughout time, and it's like that's a very important landmark that plays a part in history. And Ben 10 is like confirming the same information on the show. They said the same thing that they be doing. That they be doing. What going on? It's not giving what it's supposed to give. I don't know how. I don't know. And then the Mediterranean Sea has minerals, right? Then I want to think about when Jay-Z and Beyonce, when they was in the media and they got all that backlash about the blood diamond that she wore for Tiffany and Company. Yeah, remember that? Remember that? Remember that? Okay, well, guess what? I looked him up. His name is his name is Charles Lewis Tiffany, right? You know he with them boys. You know he with them boys. And if he with them boys and y'all got a contract with Tiffany and company, I rest my case. 15:22 on the clock. And like, subscribe, and share.